Okay, let me answer this. Okay, it is Hattie. Hattie is so toxic in ranked.
No.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one strategy. This is what he does. Say someone says something in ranked, you're like, "What did you say?" Muted, and he'll say it in game. So the guy said, and then he doesn't mute them. So he does it to get a reaction out of the player. Full toxic.
I'm not toxic.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not toxic directly, but like the way he speaks when he dies and like when it goes wrong, it's hilarious.
He's not toxic towards us or anything. He's just like, oh, blah blah blah, and he'll just, you know.
It's like watching Tyler 1 play League, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's really entertaining.
King's monitor fell off, didn't it?
Yeah, monitor has fallen, and like after that he's playing, and the screen is falling, and
his brothers are holding it for him and stuff.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Wasn't there once where Kim had to take the lasagna hot dog?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think it was Kim, but I think it was lasagna pizza hot dog, and we had to pause for like 5 minutes and be like.
Yeah, and it took him so long to come back.
Yeah, true. And then we could just hear him, at the end, like he was like yelling while in the kitchen. I'm on
ready.
Reckon Remoy?
Yeah, probably. I say the same, Remoy.
Yeah, because he's got all his setups to do, hasn't he? So he'll probably forget to buy. Oh, he's just the Sentinel player, so he has to like run to his side, do his while listening to the IGL, do all his setup. I think he's forgot to buy before.
It's just everyday playing with these guys. It's creating memories, having friends, and just being together with them is awesome to do. Because playing video games is great, but when you can play video games with someone you enjoy and spending time with, it's 10 times more enjoyable, and I really love that. So yeah, that's my answer.
Don't cry.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Polaris. Well, game number 1, done and dusted. A 2-0, quite comfortable for XL over Cova. And now we turn our attention to game number 2. And as there, Kai, my lovely MP, as per usual for today. Now, let's take a look at this one, MP. I mean, it's a completely different game to what we saw earlier. Heat taking on Human Tripwires, and we'll start our focus with Heat. I mean, they're currently sitting 6th place. It's not been the best of starts for a squad that has so many, notable players in it.
Yeah, I think we were expecting a little bit more from Heat. We were expecting them to be maybe a 3-0 right now. Maybe getting that flawless start right there. Obviously, they had a kind of hard start going against Finest in their first matchup here in group stage. It's one of the toughest matchups. And Heat obviously echoes the new IGL coming in this roster. Maybe they didn't have stuff that well set up. Obviously, winning Kova 2-0, but then losing against Hookars 1-2. And that tells that Hookars, they have improved quite a lot, and Heat maybe didn't that much from that promotional tournament, because Heat and Hookars actually faced against each other there. Back then, Heat won Hookars 2-0. Now it was 1-2. I wonder how they are going to play against the Human Tripwires, because Human Tripwires, they have had some cute wins, against H2O and Alliance, so it's kind of hard comparison right here, but they have a lot of talent in this roster.
Oh, of course. I mean, and of course, if you're going to focus on anyone, you'd probably look towards Eccles, right? I mean, he's kind of the IGL, as you mentioned. He's the guy who's got that Tier 1 experience, played for Team Liquid, and previously before that, Fish 123, and for all of about 20 minutes, he was on 100 Thieves. It's, a player who has got that Tier 1. I don't mean to dunk on him there, but it is the truth. He was there for all of, I think, a day. But, he has got that Tier 1 experience, and I think after he left from 100 Thieves, he was kind of in limbo. I think that's a good way that Sam put it. He was in this kind of limbo stage where, the rosters were locked, so he couldn't really make a step in towards Tier 1, and there was no one about, no spaces for him to kind of slot into. And now, finally, after a little bit of a break of away, he's now sort of found his home once again here at Heat. I think he was on a trial for a while, and then they realized he's so good, let's just secure him in. And since he has been secured, they're slowly starting to find their comfortability.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of a double-way trial, most likely. Echoes was like, okay, is this roster where I want to go? And after they qualified for this tournament, qualified for the group stage, they were like, okay, we're actually looking really, really good. And that's when he signed Echoes into this roster. And I love it. He was obviously a stand-in right before here. And we have players like Yugi and Misfit leaving this roster previously before we started this tournament. Yugi obviously going to Focus and Misfit to Malik, and then they needed to find that IGL, and I think they found the best IGL that is on the market. Echoes, obviously. Then KILLJOY taking over the duelist role off of Yugi. Obviously, not the best shoes to fill. You don't want to go in the Yugi's shoes, but KILLJOY, he's been bopping off as well. HEET, sometimes they are kind of struggling, and I want to see that good play from HEET, that good confidence, team play. I know they can do it, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll take a look at their opponents. Human Tripwires, currently sitting in 4th place, and of course they're technically in playoffs contention as well with a 2-1 record. They got wins over Alliance and H2O 2-0, but of course you got to take into context they are the 2 worst performing teams this season. So 2-0 isn't really anything to write home about. And then they were beaten 2-0 by XL, who we just saw, and they're a formidable opponent. So they're kind of in a bit of a limbo stage where I'd call them a fringe team, similar with HEET, where they're kind of on that fringe of playoffs, but it isn't quite confirmed yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And the game against EXO was so dominating. EXO, first map was 13-8, but second Breeze 13-2. Human Tripwires, they didn't stand a chance right there. Obviously, they were a new team coming in this tournament. I think it was Mukke and Embo who were really late additions into the roster. I think it was probably like a week or two before this tournament even started. And obviously there is something that you have to build from. And yeah, they played against EXO on the first week. You can't really maybe count that because it's a really new team. It's almost a mix at that point. But right now, I have been seeing Robbie, Mukke, and Embo playing in the Finnish tournament, VALORANT Cup as well. They played in a kind of mixed tournament or mixed team right there. And Robbie, Mukke, and Embo, they have been on fire. Robbie especially. It was amazing to see. I think Human Tripwires, they really have a chance here, and that's why I have predicted them. Obviously, HEET is the favor coming in this matchup.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one because I think you can say in terms of the individuals, HEET are the favourite, but in terms of current record, Human Tripwires are the favourite. So it's a very interesting kind of precedent that we set up coming in towards this game, and it kind of makes it very difficult to predict. I know you've gone for your Human Tripwires, which I think is a slightly roguer pick, but at the same time, I understand the logic behind it. And when you look towards individuals as well on that team, you mentioned Robbie, who I think is definitely a big name you have to mention in terms of kind of firepower, his situational thinking as well, his mechanical prowess. He's a very talented individual, but I think also Devo can step up. He's someone for me that's impressed me at times. He's got that kind of clutch factor about him, and when you kind of need someone who's just a bit of a backbone to your team, just a bit of a kind of a reliable factor, that's where I think Devo can just be the kind of calm, cool mind to just kind of relax each situation. So it does make things interesting. We'll take a look at a head-to-head as well, as we can kind of just have a little comparison. I know you drummed up a couple of names. If I'm right in saying Eccles versus Robbie here in this head-to-head, and that's exactly it. Slightly different roles for these two, but I think you know it's kind of good because they're both relatively new to this roster for this season, and it was good to just take a look at how they're doing at the moment.
Yeah, and I would say both of the players are kind of the superstars of their team, in my opinion. Echoes obviously having a good history alongside like NIP, Liquid, a lot of these teams, 100 Thieves as well. So he has a lot of experience. Robbie, on the other hand, he's kind of a new player coming in this league, and I think Robbie is definitely one of those players that could rise up, could be one of those really high talents that maybe even gets picked up by a VCT team if they don't get themselves there. So yeah, it's different roles, but yeah, I think we have to definitely look out for these two players. Robbie, that ACS from Sova, headshot percentage, it's close to most performance in playoffs, and most performance right there was insane. It was absolutely on another level.
Yeah, I agree. I think having anything over a 30 headshot percentage for me is insane. I think that's very, very, crisp for kind of all these situations that you get placed in, and especially with the variety of weapons he ends up using. I think that's a really, really nice headshot position for him to have. And of course, his ACS being at 214, again, really, really nice. He's one of those players who, I don't know, you have to, for me, be that win factor, I think, for Human Tripwires. I think if Robbie has a slow game, Human Tripwires might struggle, but the same can't really be said for Eccles. As being the IGL, he's got different kind of priorities to focus on. You know, raw fragging isn't really his forte, and it isn't his necessity either. So it's kind of one of those things for, you know, if Eccles has a slow game, he can have those players who can step up and kind of fill those shoes. Yeah. But, you know, if Robbie's has a slow one, I think they may start to feel a little bit in the tough side. We'll take a look at the vetoes. I think this is where we can start to kind of build on this one. And I'm interested to see where this veto ends up going. Do you have any predictions about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think HEET is probably going to go for that Haven ban. Then it's going to 50-50 whether Human Tripwires is going to go for Fracture or Bind. I think in this matchup, they might go for that Fracture ban, but Bind wouldn't even be bad ban because HEET, they like to play that Bind. They have 4-3 record, sure. It's not the best record, but it's decent. It's against Who Cars. Obviously, as of lately, they lost against Finest and Who Cars on Bind, so he might not want to go there, which leaves Human Tripwires the chance to ban Fracture. And yeah, I think Haven and Fracture is going to get taken out. Where we're going to go then, I'm not completely sure. Maybe Ascent. I would expect Ascent at least from the side of HEET.
Well, let's take a look at what we get. Ascent is going to be our map number 1, as you expected. Haven coming in for map number 2, picked by Human Tripwires. And if we get there, our decider will be that of Breeze. Now, interesting times with the Ascent, Haven, and Breeze pick. I mean, when you look towards, for example, HEET, I think they've got quite a deep map pool. You know, as you mentioned, that comfort pick for them was that Ascent. They don't mind a Bind Icebox or a Breeze either, which potentially for me does start to kind of slightly lean this in favor of them.
Yeah, but the Haven is really odd. Usually HEET likes to ban this Haven, but now they leave it open. They want to ban Bind because I guess they don't want to go into Bind. They have those 2 losses previously. They're like, okay, we don't want any pocket picks from Human Tripwires, so they go for that Bind ban. Human Tripwires, they get that Fracture ban, which is perfect. That plays perfectly for them. But then Ascent, Haven, and Breeze, I think this might be tough for HEET on Haven. But one of the things that I have to point out, that Human Tripwires, they don't know how HEET plays in Haven. They might have a good setup there. Like they haven't played a single Haven in the past 3 months, so that could be something new. That could be something that surprises Human Tripwires and maybe pushes them over the edge. And I think it might be tough going into the Haven. Sure, I'm like 99% sure that this Ascent is gonna go in HEET's pocket. They're just so strong in this map, and look at this. I love it. Okay. The Fade Raze combo.
I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of that from Monstrum as well. I think in terms of individuals for HEET, in terms of just raw firepower, he's got to be one of those names you keep an eye on, right? And going into that Fade pick, I think actually kind of works into his playstyle because he's quite aggressive in his nature. And I think with that Fade, it kind of allows him just to play that kind of step ahead. And of course, supported by the Raze, it's a really nice little selection there.
Yeah, and I love this dynamic here. Ingo and Monstrum, they are going to play a lot together, but also they have a lot of utility in terms of Killjoy as well. They have the Sova, so they have information in terms of Monstrum, Waddle, and Remoy. Obviously, the Killjoy is not the best information, but you have the Fade and the Sova, which is kind of interesting dynamic. I wasn't expecting this, but it is one thing that we are going to see more and more in this map, that KO getting replaced by the Fade or the Sova getting replaced by the Fade. And I think this is probably the first time I'm seeing actually the KO replaced by Fade. The double information composition, the Sova and Fade. And it's going to be interesting to see what they can do with this. At least they're going to have a good information on both sides of the map.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's kind of a battle of the Raze versus the Jet. And then, of course, the Fade versus the KO. It's all to play for. Well, we're underway. Round number 1 in game number 2. As Human Tripwires start on the defender side, HEET starting on the attacking side. And HEET's not making too much of an aggressive motion thus far. They're kind of having a little peek, having a little jiggle, but not going to commit to too much. Probably the smart way to play it at the moment. They're trying to eye out how Human Tripwires set up their defense. And what we are seeing is that posturing over towards the A sides.
Yeah, they want to stack up all the way with 5 guys, come into this A side, and RADSKI in a really tough position. If he's going to stay here, there's no chance he's going to stay alive. Wait for the aggressive pick.
He's able to find one as well, falling away. Killjoy versus Killjoy. As RADSKI comes out on top, Remoy will fall immediately. Not exactly where he wants to be. through the smoke as well. Embo finding one more. Works in his favour. Devo will just dash away. Sheriff in hand, so he's going for all-out firepower here. The spike's going to go down on the left. Aldrin will get the information. Location revealed, but in comes that flank as well. Robbie, who sung his praises, and for good reason. Mucky for one, but only. This Waddle will trade now in a 1 versus 4, and I think this might be a done affair, and it is. Consolation kill, but it's only that. It's Human Tripwires who kickstart this series in a really good fashion.
What a play. What a set play on that main. RADSKI is the one who gets that information, but Embo with the paranoia is a lifesaver for RADSKI. Actually allows him to get that aggressive pick. 5 players, fully nearsighted. No one is gonna see anything. And RADSKI gets a pick, gets away. And after that, there's a lot of utility on the hands of Human Tripwires. HEET, on that situation, they have already used some utility, so the side take is really tough. Obviously, they get the spike down. They could force this round. They decide that they do not want to force. This could, if you force right here, it could lead 3-0. Obviously, from best situation, you might lead 2-1. But yeah, he maybe not comfortable right now here, going for the force, and just want to save for the guns.
Much fuller buy, of course, for Human Tripwires, as we expected, with the opening round in their favour. That economy always was going to be exactly the same for HEET. Now, a slower tempo. Once again, it's kind of their standard, isn't it? Their default is that slow tempo style of play where they wait to bait out a lot of that utility and then, of course, try and make decisions off the back of that as they're going back over towards mid, which so far is completely open.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing that Human Tripwires can do right here, or they don't want to do anything in mid, because that could mean that they are gonna go for those long-range battles with the Sheriffs. They have Spectres, they don't want to take those long-range battles. This is perfect. They're going for this really tight gaps. They want to hold those choke points and not let HEET get in his face. Now the attack is gonna go to B side battle, and odd shock dog right there.
Trying to. Paranoia will come through as well. They're further the way forward. Embo will be tested. A crossfire setup as Robbie passes that test with flying colours. A double for him. RADSKI in for a behind one of his own. Looking for 2. Will connect comfortably. And what a round it is. Human Tripwires barely even tested. A flawless second on the board. And a slight gap starting to be built now, MP.
Yeah, and it's a side quest flawless. I've wanted to say that for so long. that is like something I've been waiting. And let's go. Now I finally got to say it.
We'll have to see it.
Absolutely. Taking that second round with a really, really clean, flawless round. I love how Robbie is getting that first contact, getting those 2 picks, but after that, he's just going for a more passive approach and lets his teammates do that work. Devo with a really aggressive angle on the top mid with this Marshall. That could pay off sometimes, but right now, it doesn't. Waddle spots it. The double information comp. It's not a surprise that he wants to go for the mid.
Again, testing those waters. I mean, Devo only got a Marshall and a Sheriff to work with. It's a bonus round, more or less, over towards Human Tripwires. And for them, it's about kind of causing economical damage, isn't it? You look towards, HEET with a nice, comfortable fall by. The only question mark really is Eccles with that Bulldog in his hand. So for them, it's about causing problems in terms of their long-term economy. Try and find as many kills as you can. You can't expect them to win a round. It's still a possibility, but it's improbable.
Yeah, and once again, you see Human Tripwires. They want to go for these close angles. They don't want to duel with the long-range rifles. It's absolutely how you want to play this round. You want to play as close as possible. Because that is where the Spectres thrive. That is absolutely where they thrive. And HEET, they have run the clock down. 30 seconds. They start to move towards B side. Look at Devil's position already. Eccles, he has 1 smoke.
Not bad. I mean, HEET's default playing things so slow, so fast, and worked. They walk in towards Devo. Bit of damage dealt, but it's Mucky to fall first. Not a bad opener at the very least. In towards backside. RADSKI does need to be extremely careful. He's toying with the idea, but they walk straight to his crosshair. Nice double there from Gingurin as well. Now it all starts to play right into their hands. Water doesn't quite convert. Embo will at the very least trade. Rifle collected. 2 versus 4. It's a Marshall. A Vandal. Of course, now into a Spectre to try and find their way back into this. So much to do, but so little to work with. This post-button setup by HEET is is so formidable. There's nothing really Human Tripwires can do to get in. It's all about exit frags now.
Yeah, and the first contact from Remo is really good on that market area. It allows HEET to have that freedom on site, and now they already know Human Tripwires, they want to go for those exit frags. They know where Embo is. Can they even get a single exit frag? Echoes barely surviving with 1 HP, and look at that. Embo, he wants to go for those, and he get those picks. It would be huge for the economic damage, but doesn't quite connect, and Devo also gets taken out by the spike and HEET. They survive a lot of shields damage. There's no shields left actually on HEET's side. They have to use so much money on this round, but still, only one rifle taken out. Look at this peak. What a satchel peak from KILLJOY.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And I mean, it's aggressive to find a double opener. And I think for Human Tripwires, with their very limited economical situation to that round, with it just being a bonus, they weren't really going to be able to test anything too much. This time, though, Devo's got an operator to work with. And that could be the difference when you consider that HEET don't have that long-range advantage.
Yeah, one of the best things for HEET, though, is that you have that double information comp, as we talked about. You can get so much information from that operator, and honestly, if there's multiple rounds that he gets caught by the operator, I would say it's completely their fault. They have so much utility to clear it out. Right now, they don't get information about the operator quite yet. They want to take this control of mid. That is one of the best areas that he will try with this composition.
Slow, very slow from HEET. As per expected. They are still trying to wait for that overextension, that mistake from Human Tripwires. So far, they're not being given. Waiting and holding. Devo's in towards short. He hasn't been tested yet. Remoy might, though, as he's going to lead that charge out and back on towards that B site. And in comes that utility, the front of the way forward. Double satchel charge coming in. But RADSKI this time converts on top. The opener going his way, looking to find yet one more. In towards backside, just playing nice and open. And he could be able to double it down, will do. Looking for 3, finds it. On for the 4th, and he converts. The quad going his way. He's looking for the ace. The question is, will he be given it? At range, Embo will close things out. What a round. Another flawless for Human Tripwires.
Wow, RADSKI. The second one looked a little bit shaky right there, but doesn't matter. RADSKI takes all of them out. It only leaves Waddle left. Coming from that rotation all the way from A side, from that fake. Doesn't matter. Right here. Fake. Human Tripwires, they don't bite. They don't bite. RADSKI is right there. Holding with Robbie. Robbie, he doesn't have to do anything. He just sits on the smoke. RADSKI leans up everyone. That means they're on a so much lower buy. Yeah, you have rifles, but Waddle having to go with the sheriff. Also, everyone with half shields.
Deploying drone.
I mean, again, for HEET, I like the idea that they've been trying to propose here about that kind of slower tempo, baiting out a lot of the defender side utility, but at the same time, it's not really worked too well for them because the clock is becoming their worst enemy now. I think that's coming through. Mucky gonna fall. It's a double opener with the paint grenades. That's not a bad way to start things. Now the operator has to come alive for something special. Gets tunnel visioned in towards sight and Echoes at range. Can at the very least win out that duel. Spike goes down to 2 versus 5, and now this is a little bit more decisive.
That is so tough for Human Tripwires. Right here, in round 5, do you see the good combo of Raze, Nade, the paint shells, Monstrum's Fade Seas? That works perfectly. Gets 2 entries in A-Store. There was also a Nanos round down there, I'm pretty sure. I think Human Tripwires, they're able to take that one out. But when you're on that Seas, there's no chance you're gonna survive that Raze Nade. You're minus 80 HP from the DK. Also, you're on that area that you cannot leave. And HEET from that is able to find their second round. They don't have to go for that eco round after this. They don't have to go for the save. And Bo and RADSKI, they save their own guns.
Hang on, that was very close to conversion there. We'll take that. It's not a bad attempt. He does manage to keep that operator taken across. I think that was the priority, wasn't it? Once they lost that site, it was all about saving, all about the exit frag, which they do manage to find in terms of just keeping those 2 guns on board. But Human Tripwires that time tested. I mean, it was a step up in terms of tempo for HEET, and it worked really well for them.
Yeah, I think it was all about the combo and raising it and sees. Look at this really aggressive A lobby from both of these sides. Yeah, well, the operator and 2 players holding with him. And they're gonna try something poppy. KILLJOY in. Oh, doesn't get the pick! But why you know he connects?
That looked already worrying. Hunter Spirit online as well. To more or less no avail there, unfortunately for him. Waddle finds no info, and now they can't really make a conversion off the back of that. They can't really make a decision because they didn't find anything. No information, no damage. Devo has fallen. The numbers are in favor of HEET, but once again, now with a minute on the clock. They're just going to slow right back down. It's their default MP. Just nice, slow, methodical. They never make a decision, but in comes the ult, and this could make a difference. Monstrum going to lead the charge, but it's Remoy to find the first. Embo will drop. Marked and decayed is not exactly where you want to be as someone swings towards heaven. Grenade to come through as well. Could cause a problem, and it does. Another kill going away. Mucky in from behind needs a double. Won't be able to find it. At the very least for now, with 53 points of HP, he's got so much to do. So many angles to clear. They know he's made the aggressive push in towards heaven. Knife will come out. Suppression online, but it makes no difference because it's Monstrum to delete him. 3-3, and we're tied all square.
Yeah, it's a tall task right there. Cannot really get that 1 versus 3. Positions of HEET are really, really good. And he, after a really tough pistol round, even Tripwires, they look really strong on that pistol round. And getting the falls on the second round as well. HEET just know they're right now better with the guns. They know ins and out of this composition. You see it. The splits, all of the things that HEET does right now make sense. I love how KILLJOY takes that A lobby with the Raze ultimate, and they go for the split. They want to target that free area once again. They want to target this. They know it's a weakness for human Tripwires. They know they have nightmares about that C's nade combo. But now, this time, it doesn't quite connect.
So slow for HEET, and I like the way they play it. Again, we spoke about kind of basing a lot of defender side utility, and this is a prime example. So I'm going to come in, that'll go clear that close position, might force a interaction. Speaking of the Devo, that's the information he was looking for. Missed shot, he's forced to take a step away. Now he has to use that dash. The Paranoia forces him to play oh so passive in towards short. There's a push coming through, but they might walk straight towards the crosshair. They do. KILLJOY easily cleaning up for a double. And leads it all down to 3. Make that just 2 as RADSKI follows his formers as they fall 1 by 1. They're getting peeked in. A nice little blast peek there as well. He makes it a 3k. All down to 1. And Embo can't find too much. It's a flawless round for HEET to deliver a 4th and take a lead.
Yeah, sometimes you see teams struggling on this attacking side of Ascent. When you cannot get the rounds rolling on, you're getting snowballed. It's really hard to come back. It's so important for HEET. Get these rounds early on, get these 4 rounds, get the lead on this map as well. On the attacking side, it's starting to look really good on HEET, winning every duel in KILLJOY. I just love the confidence right there. 9 kills right now, right ahead of RADSKI. Human Tripwires once again, they have the operator on Devo. Look at how it's being played out.
So far, so good. 1-for-1 in towards mid. The operator still alive though, still causing issues consistently. As Devo actually going to go a little bit aggressive. I do like this. When he's come online, we'll spot him out. Takes a lot of damage, but he's more than happy to sit in it. Robbie will find one of his own though. Waddle will fall, and that's an important kill to once again bring the numbers back in HEET's favor. But Remoy comes alive from behind. The operator falls, and now the lockdown's online. This site becomes oh so vulnerable. Robbie has to deny so much in such a small amount of time, but not a bad shot.
Remoy. That's a good trade. Remoy knows exactly that. Robbie maybe would like to go for more. That's a good pick. Robbie isn't quite ready for that. I think he was already ready to go back. Look at this. Human Tripwires. They are actually in a really good position. If they can get that lockdown on the boathouse, it is really tough. Remoy has to find something. They don't go for it. They don't want to go for it. KILLJOY gets first pick. Embo with 3 bullets has to reload.
Oh, timing turn away. Nearly makes the double spray down. Remoy with a 3k, but that was too close for comfort. potentially that double spray down could have been there, and there could have been human Tripwires time that game back up once again, but no, instead HEET take a tentative 2-round lead. But MP, each every round is so expensive. It's never a sort of decisive performance in kind of when it's a 4-buy versus 4-buy.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though Heat has won 4 rounds in a row, you don't see these players over 6k. Yeah, this Remo with 5.4, but still, that's not too much when you have won 4 rounds in a row. It shows that human Tripwires, they're in the game, but they don't just quite get the rounds. And once again, KILLJOY with that showstopper. There's 2 players really close. You'd get those, both of those kills, but actually, no. The dagger, AO dagger, it stops. Just not enough time to use that showstopper.
That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, isn't it? Wanted to try and get it off, won't be able to. Good use of the suppression coming through, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now with the low buy, the human Tripwires, problems are being caused there. They still have a Guardian as well to work with. It's not really the worst of situations, but they're going back over towards that B site, which they've had a lot of success on. There's only one person posted up in towards back site, that are RADSKI.
RADSKI, last time around, he had the Phantom. He got 4 kills right here. Now with the serve, it's a little bit tougher task. Robbie with the Guardian. Is he gonna be the Guardian Angel? He needs to be if human Tripwires want to win this round.
Comes that utility though, trying to clear out the close side. Aljo will at least find information on one. They're going for that split play coming in, but they've at least got pretty much all of the side apart from that one man. RADSKI towards backside trying to stay alive, but unfortunately not for much longer. Another smoke in their face and a shot through it from Remoy. Gives them these distinct advantages with Mucky on only 5 points of HP. I think this one might be done, MP.
It looks really, really tough. Okay, 5 HP. Trying to spam echoes until logs doesn't quite connect. Look at that. Running quite close. Human Tripwires. Are they just looking for the economic damage? And Embo actually finding one through that wall. Embo left.
Ooh. Only a consolation, but at the same time, MP, I mean, they made it expensive with only one Guardian brought into that, and of course a couple of Sheriffs to support it, to then come away with 3 out of 5 kills. There's positive signs, there's life still in this human Tripwire side, but HEET at the very least go in towards the second half with at least a draw in terms of rounds, right? They've guaranteed at least that they won't be going in at kind of a deficit. So on their attacking side, that's really good so far.
Yeah, I think HEET is really happy with these 6 rounds. Obviously, they want more. Attacking side, 6 rounds is already really good on Ascent. When we talk about these maps like Ascent and Split, which are really heavily defense-based, these 6 rounds, even 4 rounds is decent on those maps. But right there, you maybe need the pistol run. Now, human Tripwires, a really good aggressive push. They see the alarm, but oh, Devil could have used the Cloudburst right there.
He goes to lockdown as well. Hunter's Fury online, trying to spot out something. Remoy getting a little bit too close for comfort there, but will avoid it. Spike is dropped, but it doesn't matter all the same. Lockdown doesn't find anything. Destroyed, in fact. So now things start to change. RADSKI, different position this time. He's over towards the A site rather than his usual B, and he will find the open. A raise is going to fall, and Neckles and Waddle now to 2 versus 5. That immediate aggression over towards mid was so costly, and now they're left with so little.
Yeah,
the flank as well is a big issue.
When the smoke fades, Tevo has a really good position on the Waddle and Eccles, and yeah, the exact also Waddle may be able to find some damage, but the paranoia, everything is here. Muke doesn't quite get the first one. I've seen this before, but Waddle swings out, and it's easy for Embo. Human Tripwires finally gets that 4th round, and yeah, the aggression mid was really key. Also, Robbie is able to hit that Hunter's Fury onto Monstrum. Decides not to go for the lockdown fully. Goes for Monstrum instead, gets that pick. And in the end, Muke is able to destroy it with the fragment as well. Kill of his own. Devo, with the aggressive push, instantly from B lobby, allows him to be on that flank.
No, exactly that. 6-4, penultimate round of the half. Human Tripwires in a not too bad of a standing in terms of chipping away at the deficit, but it needs to be consecutive, really consistency for this side, and easier than done. He are going slightly more aggressive here. They're going for what looks like a committal play over towards the A side, and in fact it is. They are fully committing towards the A side. They're not slowing things down, not going for a step away as they've done so times before. This time they're going aggressive and they're paying the price for it. RADSKI for a double. Wookie one of his own. Eccles will at least drop him out as he's now down to the all fours, but I think it's safe to say that for HEET, they're in a really sticky situation. Eccles and Remoy, a 2 versus 4 essentially, with so much to do. Make that a 2 versus 4 now officially.
Yeah, I think right now HEET knows they cannot go into this B side when RADSKI is there. RADSKI has been really good counter to HEET's pushes on this side. The KILLJOY, it's a menace. It's really tough to push through those nano swarms, the alarm bots, everything that is there. And the supporting Sova on Robbie PK. Good information. It's really tough for HEET to make any kind of plays onto this B side on RADSKI. Already with 2 kills. Eccles running one for himself, maybe evening out this round.
It's potential, right? Door will be blasted open, but there is still potential for them to work with. Not going to be able to find RADSKI. On for 3, looking for 4. From behind, Eccles passes that test. What more can he find? The answer is nothing. 5 to 6 as we head into the final round of the half. 1 round in it.
Round in the half.
And I think it's more of a question of now with HEET with such a strong start is can they go into the second half with any lead?
Yeah, and I think the tough part would be if HEET couldn't close out this one with 7-5 lead. If Human Tripwires is able to win that pistol round, it would be really tough for HEET. Even on the defending side, 8-6 lead, and Human Tripwires getting this momentum back could be really hard. I think HEET, they're really prepared. They have that nightfall. They're 1 away from Eccles' ulti from the shadows. Look at this, RADSKI with the lockdown. Embo with the really aggressive push on the mid as well. Battle. He's gonna get taken out, maybe.
Aggressive. Up towards mid. I mean, Embo's testing those waters that we haven't really seen from the defender side. They've been aggressive time and time again. But not really into us that deep mid push. It's normally been inviting that pressure and then kind of forcing HEET to make mistakes. That's kind of what we're seeing to a degree now. They're taking a step away. Embo not going to overextend. Probably the smart way to play it. And once again, allow HEET to take control of mid because they haven't really found too much off the back of it.
Yeah, and this is really good for Human Tripwires because HEET, they have to use so much utility in mid. Now they're coming to A side. Maybe even a fake. No, they're committing. I think they're committing to it. Remoy in a really good flank already, and that opens up B side. Yeah.
Does follow the way forward. Murky gonna fall though. Monstrum's Guardian saves him in this situation, but RADSKI will at the very least trade. But it's only good for 1. Monstrum again coming alive, causing serious issues there. And Waddle, one of his own, looking to make it 2. The Blaze-Storm is testing those waters, but it's the Operator who comes out on top. Nice shot from Devo. Brings it back to a 2 versus 2, but this B site is open. Now what do HEET do from here? Spike go down, post plant to try and be set up. A Blaze-Storm and an Operator for Devo to work with. Embo's got a Phantom. Top draft won't spot out too much. Remoy, peek, good 1. Look for 2 and he finds it. Devo can't quite hit the mark with the Blade-Storms. And that's a 7-5 half. HEET guarantee a 2-round lead, but a pistol round is needed if they want to keep this lead.
Yeah, absolutely. HEET. That was a really strong round from them. It was almost going back of Human Tripwires' favor, but doesn't quite get there. Remoy with a really good transition right there. Almost getting that collateral as well. Maybe Human Tripwires almost lining up right there. There was some errors right there, some mistakes that Human Tripwires did against HEET, going for those duels into market. And that allows HEET to get that 2 versus 2 situation, get that spike planted as well. That could have been disastrous for Remoy, but he goes with the confidence, gets that pick. And now it's Human Tripwires win the pistol round to even it out.
Oh no, look how aggressive this is. Already deep in towards mid. Now that's opener as well. Given that's the dream start for him. Looking for 1 more. Low HP on Monstrum. He needs to be extremely cautious with the finding info. Speaking of a 180, good for 1. Needs to come out as well to deny that presence. This is aggressive in towards mid. And it's somehow worked. Looking to find even more though. They've allowed them to run more or less completely for free up towards B. And now it's a 2 versus 3 retake.
Yeah, and they know exactly where KILLJOY and Remoy is. Now they get more information, more confirmation about that. Those positions. Embo Trying to get some contact, and Devo is in a really good position. I think Emboy is going to be the first contact right there, which allows Devo to maybe get this kill, but no KILLJOY is already.
This is becoming a little bit uncomfortable. He's got 3. Remoy gonna find one of his own. No way if they turn from a 2 versus 3 to a 1 versus 2. Gingo and Falls are able to find the quad. It's down to Remoy. What can he deliver? Embo playing time brilliantly. And it's a double ding. That's stunning from Embo for a 3k to clutch things out of a human Tripwires to pick up a 6th.
And human Tripwires, they get that pistol round that they needed, but still, they have gotten both of the pistol rounds. 6 rounds only on the board. Probably gonna get that 7th as well. It seems so tough, this ascent. HEET is so comfortable with HEET. They're not even sweating right now. I don't think so. They're on the defending side. Yeah, they lost the pistol. Still, it was so close from that. I think it was 2 versus 4 situation. They have that individual talent. They can get those multi-kills with Remoy and Gingoy, and all of them can get those human Tripwires. They have to pick up some pace. Sure. They most likely are gonna get this even. Now, you are on the attacking side of Ascent.
Attacking side of Ascent can be difficult, right? I mean, there can be times where it's very difficult to find any sort of momentum, but that's not a bad way to kind of drag it in your favor. They're going to pick up the orb, though, for HEET. That's at the very least something to work with. And they'll fall away, completely uncontested. They pick up the orb, don't spoil anything, and then take a step away. RADSKI, of course, heard that, but he doesn't want to make an aggressive push because it could have cost him his life. So he can hold and wait and kind of invite the flank in towards the Spectre.
Yeah, absolutely. Human Tripwires, though, starting to push up onto that B side. Remoy, it's a really good smoke on him. Maybe able to get that classic right-click kill right here, and there it is.
Oh no! I thought it was it. I thought he was going to get a second, but no, he doesn't. Only gets off that bit of damage. Devo's down to 20 points of HP, but staying alive is all that matters, and that's what I said about RADSKI, holding for the flank, waiting for the flank. There it is, right-clicking, trying to deliver, and does with flying colours. Stunning. Really well done to find all 3. All down to 1 man. And I think it's safe to say this one is done and dusted. It's 1 versus 4 for Kingo, and I mean, he's got so much to do, so little to work with. It's going to be human Tripwires tying this game back up.
Yeah, if Kingo can find 1 kill right here, it would mean that he gets the showstopper for next round, and that would be good. Spots both of these players, but he knows that human Tripwires has to push out of this main, but actually they fall back all the way to market. Kingo just trailing them.
There we go. 90 goals. Robbie will clean things up. It's 4 men alive. A human Tripwires tie things up 7-7. And now we've got a bit of a game on our hands with kind of a similar scenario to what we saw in map number 1 of game number 1, right? Where we went kind of the full distance. There's 2 evenly sided teams who are kind of duking out right towards the end. It's looking precisely the same here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this could be one of those matches that goes all the way to 3 maps. It could go all the way. I think it was from like wrong Breeze, maybe the decider from Haven to Breeze. It could go all the way there. I think that would have to mean that human Tripwires wins the Haven. I don't think, even though it's 7-7 and human Tripwires are picking up the base, I don't think they're able to get this one down. If they are, maybe they could get a 2-0. Maybe. But they look so strong right now.
Devo slowly pushes his way forward. The Christians didn't even expect Eccles to be here. A Paranoid's come through, could be huge. You get him line up a few. It's all about timing on this peak. I think he needs to be careful not to lead this one too little too late, though. When it's popped, into swing needs to come through, and that could be enough. In it comes, swinging forward. Good for 1, look for 2, 3. Will he find it? No, not able to find them all. 44, and the trade comes through, and that's enough.
Devo is already on site.
Yeah, exactly that. On site. Remo will avoid the lockdown, though. Hang on now. He could find a little bit of a gap here. RADSKI could peek right into him. He could spawn ahead. There it is. That's brilliant. Remo also aware of the angles he could work with. And now, 1 versus 2. Double swing coming in. That's textbook from HEET. Played that to perfection. The 3-2-1 peak. That works in their favor. Like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, absolutely. And HEET, they almost struggled to win that round. 3 rifles out of HEET's pocket. Look at this. Economy, kinda in the ditch. A really good round plan right here. Eccles just going for that swing. Sometimes you just need to take a breather right on those situations. You have to go for those taps. Eccles, yeah, gets 2 kills, but that's instantly 3 kills traded back. It's a 2 versus 2. In the end, maybe too early. Lockdown use from RADSKI allows HEET to get that information, get that ground for EMEA. They're able to win that round. Now, HEET going for that passive approach, getting information from both mains. Meanwhile, Human Tripwires, they have already pushed this mid.
The Aldrin didn't spot anything is on. This could now potentially relay a bit of misinformation over towards HEET, where they could think, okay, there's no pressure over towards B main, maybe potentially go for a slightly more aggressive play in towards that of A. But what we can see is 3 players stacked over in that A position, and the 2 remaining over towards B, there's the risk of the flank coming through. I mean, look at Devo and Mookie here, and now, of course, the decision's being made. They're full sending it over towards B. And Remo has to be extremely careful. They're going to hold it in hand. Spam coming through, though. And for water, that's brilliant. Good for one. Mookie's going to fall. Spike dropped as well, which they know all to where. Now the commit in terms of the rotation can be made. HEET have managed to get a little bit of fortune, and it favors the bold as Remo and Waddle, 1 apiece. Make that a 3rd for Waddle. Eccles will close things out. It's a flawless round for HEET to take another 2-round lead. That's exactly what they needed.
I'm going to be honest. Waddle, if you watch this, I hate you for that, Odin, but it's so beautiful. It's so... Just dart on the side, get those kills. Easy peasy. There's no chance. I hate that Sova on Odin in ranks when I go up against it on B side. It works. It works so well. And delays so much of this Human Tripwires push on the side. They already have all of these rotations in. They have everyone covering the side. All of the utility coming in. There's not a chance HEET is gonna lose that round. I think it's all on the back of Waddle's Odin. And this fade raise combo, it's just beautiful.
Not a start either as well. I mean, Mucky falling immediately is exactly what they were looking for in terms of, you know, sometimes when you see that eco buy coming out, it's a different mindset, isn't it? And because of that, it can be lead teams to be slightly more aggressive, which can overwhelm that defender side. This time, though, now they've got the kind of numbers advantage in their favor, they can just utilize that. Looking for information. All will be destroyed at the very least. Eccles, though, needs to be careful of his flank. There's a Matek and Goons up for a triple. Eccles one more, and it leaves it in Embo's hands. And a 1 versus 5. Able to find himself 1. A consolation kill. But it's nothing more than that.
Now, right now, it seems like he is actually getting that momentum. He's getting that snowball. Even though it's 3 rounds, he, in the last 2 rounds, has been looking so dominant. Sure. There has been 1 eco. The last round was it. Still, they're getting that confidence. They're building up the momentum, and right now, Human Tripwires, they decide we have to stop this. We have to get the momentum back. They go for the timeout. This is so good timeout right here. It's the ultimates that they have. Null Command, that from the shadows, and also Hunter's Fury, allows them to go for a really, really fast push. Is it A? Is it B? Most likely B side. These are the best ultimates that you can have for fast execute.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Human Tripwires, they're in a very uncomfortable state where essentially lose this round, their economy once again breaks, right? They've got that kind of glass floor beneath them where they don't have long-term economic stability, and because of that, each and every round now becomes a real risk. Because, okay, lose this, HEET find 11, they should be guaranteed a 12th, and then they're just knocking on the door of taking map number 1. So, for Human Tripwires, this is arguably the most important round for them in terms of if they want a chance of taking this in regulation.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's a good chance for Human Tripwires if they don't score right here. They don't get the round. KILLJOY maybe looking go for a fast showstopper. Doesn't want to go for it. I think it's a good idea that he doesn't go for it. There's a null command available for Mookie, and he's gonna use it instantly if the showstopper is gonna come available. Yeah, the B side, it's left open. He knows that it's the most likely place where Human Tripwires are gonna come. The retakes. So yeah,
look at that, it's flooding in, right? This is now becoming a bit uncomfortable. They're teleporting towards Boathouse as well. Would they even expect that? As they've already got that info over towards the B side. It's completely isolated as well. so vulnerable. And now Heat are playing a full 5v5 retake. I mean, MP, this becomes very difficult. They've got the utility to try and find a bit of an entry. Not a great start, though. A 1-for-1 trade in towards main. Monstrum brings the numbers back level. Suppression coming through as well. This is not the easiest of situation for them to be in. A 5 vs 5 retake now turns into a 4 vs 4. Shock darts come through as well. Devo will avoid, spamming with the Odin. In comes the Hunter's Fury, which they'll avoid quite nicely. Remoy might be in for a tough spot, and he will. Falls to the hands of Robbie. Numbers now favouring human Tripwires. I think more or less this round might be done unless something special can happen here. All down to 1. Echoes the IGL in 1 vs 2. Spike so far ticked that this round is done. He's looking for exits. Will he be able to find it? Yeah, he'll get 1. But it's just about that's all he'll get. Dies to the Spike, and human Tripwires in the round that's arguably the most important for them, they find it.
Yeah, absolutely. With that utility that they have coming on the side, it's really tough to lose, especially when Heat loses KILLJOY and instantly on B main. That is one of the most important picks that you can have. Showstopper was available. If you have 4 players on B side holding that side, the Showstopper is going to be so good. And that's exactly what human Tripwires had. No, I think it was RADSKI who was holding that flank. He gets KILLJOY and taken out. There's trade instantly after, but I think right there in that situation, they need to put someone else first. KILLJOY has to be the second one trading. Now, once again, human Tripwires, they go for the fast push. It's completely open A side as he pushes up from B lobby with the Nightfall and Showstopper.
I'm liking this from human Tripwires. It's just at a really aggressive tempo. Missed up shot very close to Devo. We're playing a fire a little bit. The Blade's pop, 59 points of HP. He needs to be cautious, he needs to be careful. In comes that. Not a bad opener, to say the least. Now, swinging their way forward. Remoy needs to get this shot, and he does with flying colours. What a hit that is. At least giving them some room to work with. RADSKI for a double. This is all working brilliantly in favour of human Tripwires, as Remoy's got such a tough job, he's not able to pass it. This is now human Tripwires having all the momentum in their favour.
Yeah, absolutely, and RADSKI getting that repeat. But crucial part right there. It's a 50-50 for human Tripwires to go onto A side. If they go for that fast execute onto B side, they're dead. They're instantly dead because the Nightfall and Showstopper comes from B side. There's so much utility used for Heat. Trying to counter this fast push from human Tripwires, trying to get that pick onto B side. But no, human Tripwires survive because they go for the fast push onto A side. There's no one there to get the side free. And RADSKI, being the backbone right there, is able to bring them that 9th round. 1 away from even score. That would be so crucial for human Tripwires because if you look at the Heat's economy, it's not good. Human Tripwires could get the lead.
This is the kind of that opportunity now for human Tripwires to tie this game up, but not only that, kind of get that long-term momentum, have the ability to close up map number 1, which kind of we were having that conversation where it was looking unlikely, right? And now we're in a position where human Tripwires could be about to pick up Heat's map pick. And I never would have thought that a possibility. But what we're seeing is Heat on defender side really struggling, and it's mainly due to human Tripwires and their tempo changes. In comes the lockdown coming through, and it's a lockdown for lockdown. At range, Waddle with the Odin, spamming away, trying to cause some more problems. The question is, can he? Swinging their way forward. Echoes all about this peak, and he finds it. That's enough. Will he be caught in it? I think he may just have been. Does not matter either way. Remoy for a double will be traded out, leaving RADSKI all alone. 1 versus 4.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds on the clock. And MP, that spikes down.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's 3 players holding in from short. KILLJOY as well on the flank. Echoes ready to use that paranoia on contact. There's no chance. RADSKI has been on fire in this match. There's just no chance it's gonna get this. And no, Echoes gets that kill. And all that happened there was the human Tripwires. They were putting everything on that side, on that one side of the map, on A side. There's nothing else. Literally nothing on B. Stopping Heat from pushing that B lobby. And there comes Waddle. Waddle gets that first pick. Forces them to go really so much faster onto A short. Gets that pick as well. Allows Heat to have that breathing moment. Now, human Tripwires in a crucial position. Doesn't go for the full buy. Goes for a few hero rifles. Maybe able to close out this one, but if they're not, they still have another buy in their pocket. which is really, really important for human Tripwires.
Slow again from human Tripwires. I mean, we mentioned about them having these tempo changes. And I think this is another prime example of where, when they've got aggressive, it's worked. They picked up 3 rounds in a row from just going, you know, all guns blazing, going aggressive, and kind of overwhelming Heat. Now they're trying to slow things down, and actually that works in favor of Heat. It allows them to actually set up properly. Jump peeking over towards back spawn, nothing to be spotted as the moment. Echoes need to be slightly cautious, though. I mean, there's potential for problems to be caused. Embo's got so deep. Easy kill in his favor. Echo's knife in hand. It was never even in contention. Now Monstrum in towards front sight. Spot 1 at the very least has been a mark as they're flooding the way forward, swinging in. Hunter's Fury online as well. Monstrum good for the first. Look for the second. Won't be able to convert, but Waddle find a double. That's brilliant. Remo one of his own. Leaves Robbie
30 seconds left.
now alone. Vandal collected, but a 1 versus 3. And he has been spotted as well. That's unfortunate. Maybe potentially have been able to get away, but he got spotted out with a recon. And that's Heat fighting 12 MP. They're 1 round away from taking map number 1, their own pick. But it has been a tough road here.
Yeah, absolutely. This gives some maybe sight what we're gonna see on the next map. This could be very well a Heat map win, but if we go onto Haven, human Tripwires, they're already bringing this Heat onto Ascent, Heat's map pick. What is it that we're gonna see in Haven? That is what we're gonna see just in a second. If Heat is able to bring this round back, or this map back, Devo really kind of solo push onto this A main. Maybe he's gonna get caught, but no, actually gets KILLJOY, and Monstrum has to back off. There's no way he can challenge this.
At the moment, there's no way he can. Needs to be careful. Already, that man advantage goes in favor of human Tripwires, and it doubles down brilliantly. Monstrum will fall. This is now a really uncomfortable spot for them to be in. A paranoia will come through, and Echo just has to fall away. Has to take that passive position. Spikes to go down, and I think for human Tripwires, this realistically should be a 10th on the board. I mean, they can't really contest this.
Yeah, but RADSKI gets taken out. That's a good pick for them. It requires just trying to delay, falling back on the side. If Heat can get 1 more pick, this could be doable. It's very well be doable.
Odin spamming, not converting though. What can he find? Swinging in, close. Good fit to 1-for-1. Crossfire set up. Echoes from above. Labored spray comes out on top. Now it's a 2 versus 2. There's room for to work with, but that spike is so far take the location revealed, and Robbie will finish things off. Echoes falls. That's human Tripwires finding their 10th. Death's down to just 2. And there's no potential. There's a lifeline, MP, for them to get back into this.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's all from back of Devo. Devo going really aggressive right there. Also going for that double pick. Kind of forced into that as well by KILLJOY and Snake. There's no way Devo can back right here. Has to go for the pick. Actually gets that, which allows the short push to come in as well. Mukke finding that second pick. Somehow he is still able to bring that onto 2 versus 2 because RADSKI gets picked. But human Tripwires, they've given themselves a lifeline. Like you said, 2 rounds they need to win in a row. It's not gonna be an easy task. It's doable. It's doable right now. Past mid control. Robbie also having the Hunter Fury in this round is really good.
Yeah, it's not impossible. It's improbable, but there's a possibility, right? As we stand, it's something for them to work with. And again, that tempo changes that are being adapted on the fly here by human Tripwires coming through. They're going for the aggressive push down mid. This time now taking a step away. Minute left on the clock for them to work with. So they've got plenty of time to kind of test both sides and see where those weaknesses arise from. At the moment, it's all kind of very reliant on KILLJOY staying alive here. He's slightly isolated with Monstrum going back over towards short. No, now they're going to double stack. Jiggle coming through. Information spotted. Fake cans to come through. Needs to be careful of the peak. Monstrum to fall. Hunter's Fury online. Not going to spot out too much immediately as Mukke in for that trade. Drops out the raise. Information spot as well. Spam will come through, but doesn't quite find the kill. Mukke and Embo both low on HP.
30 seconds left.
The numbers favor human Tripwires. He could be in for a really tough spot here.
Yeah, but the damage is so good from Eccles. Right now, they have to think, is the economy good enough? Go for this. It's not that good. It's not the best. And yeah, the save is coming in. From Rattle. From Remo. Embo. Actually finding Eccles. That could be really bad for Heat for next round.
Yeah, I mean, now they only got maximum 2 rifles being saved. And I mean, the call here to hunt is actually really good by Human Tripwires because they know they're going to be more or less fine in their side in terms of having some economy to work with because they won't kind of go for an overzealous hunt, send kind of 1, max 2 people going. And it works. I mean, they drop out Eccles already and leaves now Heat in a really uncomfortable spot where they're going to struggle to pick up a really uniformed buy coming in towards this next round, especially when you consider that the guys who saved, their economy is still a little bit dicey. Now we see a buy coming through for King Gurney. He is going to be able to pick someone else. So it's not the end of the world, but a Guardian for Monstrum, not as decisive as he'd want, maybe.
Yeah, no nanoswarms for Remoy. That is kind of bad for the Killjoy not to have any nanoswarms. Obviously, Remoy with 1 away. Or 1 away from that lockdown. Eccles on the other side of the map where Human Tripwires is going to go, which is really good for Heat. They have 3 players here already from the shadows available for Eccles as well. Evo.
1 for 1. Demo, King Gurn. 1 apiece. Bladestorm. Shut down at just 1 kill on towards Waddle. But now again, that rotation being made by Human Tripwires. They go back over towards what looks like the B side is setting 1 in that Amuki to just test towards on A and of course drag the attention away. He's just being as loud as he possibly can to draw that attention. It's working. We see now a double stack over here and a 3rd joining momentarily, which is leaving the B side open. I mean, B main is completely uncontested.
Yeah, and this leaves a chance for Muke for this flank. Monstrum, he is kind of aware Muke maybe has to wait a little bit.
The timing. Oh, this could be brutal. He's going to go back in towards heaven. I think they've got an understanding that that's a possibility. Mucky is still walking forward. Remoy, he's waiting for it, holding for it, finding it with ease. It was looking like there was potential for it, but no. Now the lockdown comes in. They've committed lockdown over towards A, but it's the wrong side. It's a double boathouse stack for Heat. The question is, can they pass this test? 4 versus 3. The trays need to be brilliant here.
Yeah, Robbie has the dart available. It's going to come to the backside.
They find it. Not going to find too much. Robbie, good for 1. Looking for another. Will he find it? It's the question rather than a gun at them both. Drops King Gurn, and now the site is open. It's a 2 versus 3 retake. Heat from an advantage now into a disadvantage.
Double smokes, drone available for Human Tripwires. Remoy, Eccles has the paranoia smoke as well. Are we going to go for OT? Remoy doesn't have the lockdown anymore. It's intense right now.
Blinding.
Yeah, this is unfortunate to say the least, as now they went from that really good position to, struggle to retake it. In comes that utility, faking the teleport as well. Recon to come through. We'll be spotting out 1. Remoy needs to be careful, swinging his way forward. That spike so far taken. They don't have the time. They just can't get their way on towards that side. Overtime is where we head, ladies and gentlemen. Similar to map number 1 of game number 1. Map number 1 of game number 2 also has OT on the cards.
I'm so ready for this. I'm actually so ready for it. I love this. I don't really like how Muke went for that pick. It's a decent idea, but I think I would have loved more for Human Tripwires to make some presence on B side and then Muke able to get those rotations away from Heat. But hey, if they win the round like that, I'm happy. I'm happy, and we're gonna see OT Heat obviously going for this timeout. They've seen some struggles right here. Human Tripwires able to pick up some pace, and Heat, they have to go for the coaches. They have to ask from Element, what is happening here? What should we do? Maybe even Caesar and Kalen giving some input. I think if we can go from the trend that we have seen in VCT, Heat might be able to pick up the momentum. Human Tripwires, they're going to be on the defending side first. That allows them to have maybe the momentum. They can get the better side first. Then they have to go for the attacking side. I think that's really good for Human Tripwires.
For sure. I think it's now a situation more for Heat, for me, where they went from having such a big lead, right? And then they were pulling away, and it should have been realistically them just closing out their own map with relative ease because of kind of a 4-5 round lead. And now, look where we stand. It's kind of that lead diminished because Human Tripwires, man, say, having a very, very stellar attacking side. And for Heat, their morale might start to take a bit of a hit off the back of that. Their mental could start to fade a little bit. And It's not really what you want, especially going in towards OT. I mean, Human Tripwires, they have all the momentum off the back of turning that one around. As well, see, Remoy goes aggressive. RADSKI and Embo, one apiece, takes numbers in their favor. Heat already down to 3.
Losing the controller and the duelist makes everything so much harder for Heat. Yeah, they have the information. They have the Sentinel as well. You don't have a controller with those smokes. You can't really use your abilities, your information abilities that good, because there's so many angles that you cannot check with those drones, those darts. The drone is so short nowadays. Human Tripwires, they can surprise this as well. 4 players alive, only 2 in A. Heat is slowly coming in.
Ding coming in as well. Ember down to low HP, just to be careful. 28 points, that's to take a step away. Giving up that control, and now it's all about retakes. In comes a shock dot to try and deny that presence. Not a bad placement for either. Better damage down towards Remoy, but won't deny that spike going down. Numbers do favour Human Tripwires, but this position doesn't. They're now into retake mode, trying to make their way back forward. Robbie has been spotted out as well, so know exactly where he's coming from.
Yeah, Devil in main as well. Oh, Embo.
Smart. That's smart by Embo. That's really smart. Really well played. The TP comes through. Mucky with a double of his own as well. 4 remain alive. And that's a flawless retake. It was a 4 versus 3 where he were looking in a really strong position. And now look where we stand. It's the other way. Human Tripwires pick up round number 1 of OT number 1. And they take map point on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, all of a sudden they have turned this around. And Embo doesn't even get all the way where he wants to be, I think. I think he wants to go in that smoke. But yeah, it's actually perfect that he gets right behind the box. He sees the Hell player. I think it was Rado who was right there, and Remo just holding short. He has to hold for that one position because they have this set plan for this post plan. They have these set positions they have to look for, and Remo is holding for the door. All of the teammates crumble around him, and Human Tripwires. All of a sudden, from losing position, they're able to turn it around. And this is definitely taking a toll for Heat. There's no way. I don't think the mental in Heat's camp right now is gonna be in that well position, because you had a really good performance. You were showing a really good signs defending side, be winning this match in regulation, but now you're on OT. 1 down. Look at this.
Odin only good for 1. We've seen Waddle pull off some specialties with it. Now Human Tripwires, they go over towards that B side. Is Remoy the only man, the last man standing there to try and deny it? What, can he find a double? In fact, turret for 1, Remoy for the 2nd, and a 3rd in his name. Lockdown to come through, and Remoy has single-handedly kept Heat Stream alive here.
Wow, the kill choice in this matchup are insane. Remoy, RADSKI, both of them been single-handed locking these B-sides down. The aggressive push, it doesn't work. All of a sudden, Remoy. Insane play, and Nembo. You know about his location.
Stealing sight.
Oh, paranoia though. I get a drop on it. Spots a Remoy. Doesn't matter. Quad kill for Remoy. Single-handedly keeping Heat Stream alive on their own map pick. They made it tough for themselves, but now we have some room to work with MP, because they switch sides and they get their preference pick of how to defend the side.
Yeah, absolutely. That looked so good for Remoy. And yeah, Heat. They have to win this. They have to win this. Human Tripwires. Oh, Human Tripwires once again on the defending side. Are they gonna take it once again? Devil with the operator. That could be crucial. There's no one right now going for that A side. They want to go for this B side control. And look at that shock dart. Oh,
that's brilliant.
Beautiful.
Down to 76. Not the start that Remoy wanted. Potato Square, 13 apiece, but this is a very, very tough situation for them to be in. I mean, for the likes of Heat, they have so much to do in terms of, but so little to work with. And for Human Tripwires, all they have to do is just take that step away. The defender side has been one of their strongest points, and they've been very, very good at kind of controlling that tempo. They can invite all this Heat pressure in towards mid, because time and time again, they've done it and failed.
It seems like It's a really tough task to do. HEET now grouping up on this B side. RADSKI has been the backbone here with Robbie. Good support from Robbie has been so good for RADSKI. RADSKI is able to get those multi-kills. Also the utility, it's there. They don't have the turret anymore though. Robbie just going, find a spot for that. Now they have the information.
Yeah, Horn came through as well, trying to spot something. Kinguru go for the first. Looking to make it a second as well. Boombody will come forward. Will clear up Bohouse, or try to. Robbie finding two at the least gives them now a bit of space. Spike still drops on the side. Needs to go down. They need to make that decision. Then will collect it. Now, of course, Eccles can get this one planted. The rotations come through just shy of 15 seconds on the clock.
Planted.
How do they play this? I mean, the 3 versus 3. Remo is in towards other main. Devo comes alive for one. Kinguru on 4. That's an important kill as he's been causing some significant problems on the line as well. Eccles, paranoia, but survives a 1 versus 2. Trying to TP away, and he walks straight into trouble. Devo says hello and meets him with a right click.
That is beautiful from Devo. Just holding right there. And human Tripwires, that's a really good retake. He just can't hold it. Going for those aggressive picks. Allows human Tripwires to get the retake. Also, Robbie able to get those 2 kills. So huge. Just getting that dart right outside of the smoke. Able to get that second kill. I think it was on the Monstrum. Was so huge. Even though he gets traded instantly after Viking going. Human Tripwires once again. They are on the lead. They have a second chance of closing this. But if we see some trend from the first matchup, it's not gonna end here. There's gonna be 4 more overtimes.
This is already starting to look very similar to game number 1 of the day. That went 19-17 in favor of XL. Let's see how this one does. RADSKI towards short. Embo, good start for them. Human Tripwires with map advantage. Now got numbers advantage too. Not any much longer though. Monstrum, nice shot from him. Dropping out RADSKI. Bringing those numbers back to a 4 versus 4. Devo's gone quite aggressive and he's found a little bit of a gap here. He might be able to get in towards the backlines. He's being held from that left-hand side. Will he be aware of it is the question. All about timing, or what do we even consider? And Odin at range as well. You may potentially prefer the Vandal. Swings his way forward. Kinguru needs to clear this close position. Doesn't. And Devo brings numbers back in their favor. Cloudburst come through. Dash as well to follow suit. Now this one single Sova that Awada got so much to do. The Odin spamming forward won't find too much. Forced off the angle as well. Shock dart won't be too much avail. And that Odin spam, unfortunately, not doing exactly what he wants. Left. This is looking very good for human Tripwires in a 4 versus 3 situation, and they've got the B side MP.
Yeah, Devo, once again, on this aggressive position on Market. Market finds Eccles. It's a tall task. 2 versus 4. Good positions for human Tripwires. Battle and Monstrum, they need to find something. Second smoke coming in, and that's a one-way. That's a really tough one-way.
Player standing.
Swinging forward, Maki closes things out. A double. Human Tripwires find their opponent's map pick. 15-13. It took OT to get there, but we get there nonetheless. Another marathon MP. I think we're in for it's one of those long days, right? You get there occasionally, but yeah, I mean, a really good game once again. I think it's a tale for me, realistically, though, of HEET. HEET failing to convert a round and a game that should have been theirs. They at one point were kind of 4 or 5 rounds ahead with they on that 12 mark. All they needed was one last push across the finish line, and then they just fell flat. They were so close yet so far, and credit to him and Tripwires. What a good resurgence from them.
Absolutely, human Tripwires. They look like they were on the back foot. I think it was 7-10 scoreline that you were talking about. This is a crucial round. They need to win this, and they did. Human Tripwires bringing that back, kind of keeping the economy as well. And then again, I think it was like 11-9. Was the scoreline where human Tripwires was able to take that round, able to keep that scoreline, or able to keep the economy right there.
Yeah.
Somehow they're able to win that. I know they had the I think the better position on going to overtime. They get to start on the defending side. They get to win that first round, and it's all up to them. Close it out. Good performance. It's not quite enough. It's so. I think so sad. See, I was expecting Heat to win this matchup or map rather. And
agreed.
I think Human Troopers. Yeah, honestly, nothing taking out from Human Troopers. They did a really good job. But they had their chances to close it out.
Yeah, I think the worrying thing is they had lots of chances, didn't they? Lots of opportunities to close out this map, and they just couldn't. They fell flat. It seems like all the kind of wind in their sails just suddenly went out of nowhere. And as you mentioned, credit where credit's due. I mean, Human Tripwires, they very much impressed me when it went towards kind of the latter part of map number 1, and of course in overtime, they just looked like the slightly more decisive side. And now, of course, we kind of focus our attention towards map number 2 of Haven, where it's, of course, it's the pick of Human Tripwires, but for me, it's all about this mental reset for Heat. That is a tough one to be able to kind of, put in the past and forget about when they were so close to winning and still failed to convert it. I mean, that's going to be one of those ones that is very difficult to forget.
Yeah, and I think the toughest part for Heat is that in the last 3 months, they have won 13 out of their 14 ascents. Now they lost against Human Troopers. Last time that happened, it was a few weeks ago against Finest on the first week of group stage. But their strongest map, Ascent, 14 matches played and 13 won. Now 15 matches played and 2 lost. And no wonder RADSKI is the MVP. Ingoyen as well, popping off. Really good plays, but these KILLJOYs, these were the players that I would highlight from these teams.
Yeah, massively agreed. I mean, in terms of like King Guin, of course, he was the duelist who was fighting a lot of the openers, but for me, for RADSKI, it was his importance, his impact frags, wasn't it? 22 kills, 1.3 KDA, 231 ACS is all well and good, but the stats mean nothing to me when it terms of just the raw impact RADSKI had. Time and time again, he was, all alone over towards backside B, in towards Boathouse. And he single-handedly passed that test time and time again. He was kind of one of those players who they could rely on, just to anchor a site, leave alone over there, and, cause problems. And he did on numerous occasions. Shout out to Embo as well, 223 ACS, the 2.4 KDA is nothing to shy away from as well. And I think what we do see, as we mentioned, for coming into this game, he may have the individuals who can make a difference, who can step up in terms of the real kind of firepower. But for Human Tripwires, that team synergy and cohesion, that made the difference. While the individuals are great for Heat, unfortunately, it wasn't good enough to pull them across the line. Now we turn our attention towards map number 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw this one to an ever so slight break. When we are back with Human Tripwires map pick. See you after the break.
Hey, I'm Robbie. I'm a flex player for Team Human Tripwires.
I'm Lassi Hautala, in-game name Mukka, and I play flex role in Team Human Tripwires.
For Split 2, we changed our roster. Cakes and John left, and we added Embo and Mukka. They are both sort of IGLs, very experienced players, and what they will do is they will bring more depth to the team, hopefully. Obviously, we haven't had much time to prepare, as this has been kind of like last minute, but we're going to try to do our best, and hopefully we can make it to playoffs and potentially even win it all.
I think I bring to the team a lot of communication, ideas and good support, as I play a lot of Flash characters.
The first split we did alright. We expected a bit better, but there's not much to say really. We didn't have much time to prepare, so this time we're going to try our best to perform.
I saw a lot of potential in the team, and I saw this as a good opportunity for myself, so I wanted to play with them for sure.
One player to look out for has to be RADSKI. He's definitely not one of the flashiest players on the team, like someone like Devo, but his aim is clean, man. Like, he doesn't miss his shots, so it's very interesting to watch him.
Well, the main goal is to win it all for sure, but First of all, I want to make it to playoffs, so we gotta work hard to get out of the groups and then work our way up the playoffs after that.
My biggest rival has to be Kix. He's a very bad player.
I guess any team with any Finnish players, so that would be Kova, I guess. As a Finnish org as well, I want to beat them really hard.